Well, let's kill WCW.
Well, if anything killed WCW, it may have been greed. Greed. And that went down on 3/18 of 2001. The first, the last, the only WCW Greed.
Man, first, last, and only. And it starts out with Jason Jett versus Kiwi.
Oh, do you know who Jason Jett was?
No idea.
You watched ECW, right?
Yeah.
So, he was a guy named Easy Money.
Oh, this is Easy Money?
Yeah. They put him under a different gimmick, but yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. That was all. I just thought I'd share.
Oh.
Yeah, him and
last second trivia.
Him and Kid Cash jumped ship off the sinking ship of ECW, not knowing that they were hopping onto a also sinking ship of WCW.
It's like when you jump off the Titanic into a life raft that has a hole in it.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what they did. They're like, "Hey, we're all
we're good. We're good. Oh crap!
Yeah, we're gone.
Dang it!
Yeah.
Wrong ship. Well, can't win them all.
Yeah.
Well, in classic WCW fashion, we got guys fighting for a vacant title.
Oh, your boy's back.
Man, my man.
Yeah,
Hey,
man.
always holding it down.
Yeah.
Always holding it down.
Well,
man.
and it's greed, so
Yeah, I was about to say.
at least Vacant doesn't hold all the titles like he did back.
I was about to say he's taking it easy. He's like, listen, I'll just hold this one. I'm gonna let you guys let you guys fight for this cruiserweight title. I'm gonna go ahead and let you fight for it. And sorry, this is your cruiserweight tag title tournament.
Oh, okay. So it's the first time we're crowning cruiserweight tag champions.
That's right. And it's Elix Skipper and Kid Romero defeating Billy Kidman and Rey Mysterio Jr.
Do you know what that's called?
What?
That's a swerve, bro. Everybody
was like, Kidman and Mysterio definitely are going to win.
Of course.
Because
they're established. They should, exactly.
Because they should have won those titles.
Do you know when they do win them? In real life, in the real timeline, they win them on the last Nitro.
Of course they do.
But Ray doesn't sign with Vince, and thus, with McMahon in mind, I cannot book it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that.
So continue. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's all good.
But yeah, I don't swerve them, bro. I just strap them up the way.
No swerves, bro.
I strap them up the way they ought to be. First champions: Rey Mysterio, Billy Kidman.
Bro, but that's what the Marks wants.
Well, the Marks may want it, but McMahon's gonna get a different champion or different guys holding the straps at the end of the company.
Hey, it works. It works. See, Sean Stasiak came out. Was he Stacy Keibler now?
Oh my God! I forgot. When were you born? You were what, 2 or 3 when this happened?
3, yeah.
3. Okay, so here's what happened. Picture this. Picture this, bro. Bro, picture this. Stacy Keibler, bro. She's with David Flair, bro. And she tells David Flair, "I'm pregnant, bro. We gotta get married, bro."
What? Huh? What?
Oh, you don't know this?
No.
Okay, so
what?
So then they have. Remember that DNA match where David Flair took on Buff Bagwell because we got to figure whose DNA's up in Stacy, bro.
Holy shit!
Well, don't worry. It gets worse. So she reveals, "I was never pregnant, but I'm gonna introduce you to my baby Sean Stasiak." That was the culmination of the story. The culmination of the story was her baby is Sean Stasiak.
Oh, my head hurts.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Oh, that actually hurts so badly. Oh my God.
So this led into a feud that ended Nitro. That happened on the last Nitro, where Sean Stasiak was so perfection that he was in a feud with Bam Bam Bigelow, and Bam Bam's like, "Well, if I beat you, I get to tattoo you," and it was dumb, and it lasted you've got the amount of time on there, how much it lasted when we get to the final Nitro, but it's bad. It was a bad idea. It was a bad storytelling.
Well, this one lasted almost 6 minutes, but it was Stasiak defeating Bigelow. Why the?
Oh, it's terrible.
Oh,
it's so bad.
Oh my God. And I actually like Stacy Keibler.
Oh yeah.
And I love Bigelow.
Yeah, I love Bigelow too. And I think Sean Stasiak is mildly okay.
I've never watched the guy wrestle, so I have no opinion.
He's mildly okay. The best thing he ever did was be the Playboy toy for Pretty Mean Sisters.
He was meat.
He was meat. Yeah. So that was the best thing he ever did because he had a body. He didn't have to wrestle, and he stood there, and you could see his body, and it was like
stood there, and he looked good.
He was like, "You did your job well, sir."
So what Vince makes all of these women do, that's what say that. I'm honestly surprised he was nuanced enough to think of that.
I don't know if it was his idea, but whoever's idea it was like, that is the way you use this guy's talent.
That's actually a great point. I don't know if it was Vince's
I don't know, but whoever
it doesn't sound like him.
It did not.
Look at that specimen. Now that I think about it, it's probably Vince.
So vascular.
Look at him. Look at the veins popping. Now let's get the legs. Get the legs showing. Oh my god. Well, that's a real waste of two great talents in Sean Stasiak. Next up, you got a tag match. Lance Storm and Mike Awesome defeat Hugh Morris and Conan. Cool.
Okay, yeah, I like those folks. Cool.
I was about to say a good 11-minute match. I'm like, I didn't say a bad name in there. So,
yeah.
All right, great stuff.
Mike Awesome and Lance Storm are freaking awesome.
Yeah. Pardon the pun.
Yeah, it was an accident, but
it's an awesome
not mad
story.
at it. Not mad at it.
All right. And then you got your WCW World Cruiserweight title match. Shane Helms defeats Chavo Guerrero Jr. I do apologize. To become the Cruiserweight champion.
So just for anybody keeping score, Eddie is with the Federation at this period of time.
Correct.
Because he...
Was this the
Benoit,
Radicals?
Radicals, yeah.
Radicals, I mean.
Yeah, so he, Malenko,
Perry Saturn,
and Benoit all jumped last year. Right after Sullivan strapped up Benoit.
Yeah.
And they were like, but you got the world title. He's like, but I don't want to be here. They're like, but we gave you the world title.
I told you before you gave me the world title, I didn't want to be here.
Exactly. So, yeah.
It's not my fault.
Chavo Guerrero.
I will give Kevin Sullivan props for being professional. I was like, listen, I understand you stole my wife from me, but no hard feelings, I'll give you the world title. I was like, that's great.
I don't want to be here.
But before he did that, I didn't want to be here. Great stuff. Next up, World Tag Title match. Palumbo and O'Hare retain against Totally Buff. And then you got singles match. The Cat defeats Canyon. Poor Canyon. Boy. Let me flip the page here to show you that Booker T becomes the United States champion, defeating Rick Steiner.
I thought so.
And then next up, you got a tag match. Dustin and Dusty defeat Jarrett and Flair. Yeah, that's your boys.
Well, and like I said, I knew in their world they were just repeating history, but that's why I go the different direction.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, we'll use them all, but we'll use them all in a different way.
And better.
Thank you, I try.
My personal opinion.
Appreciate you.
Then let's see. You got the WCW World Heavyweight Title match closing out the show. Steiner retains against DDP.
Okay, I ain't mad at that, but I want things to make sense. I know I keep saying that. It's like a crazy idea. It's a crazy thing that keeps coming to my mind. So what I do when I create this, can you grab that piece of paper right there? Yeah. When I'm creating the concept of greed, when I think about the concept of greed, I think about the idea that we have just under 30 days from revenge to greed. And since we're leading into greed... Yeah, it's just under 30 days. So what I'm doing leading into greed is on the road to greed, I am proving why this show is called Greed. Because I am strapping up the best first generation, not just with the tag titles on the Steiners and not just with the world title on Booker T, but I'm going to give Booker T the United States title en route to Greed. I'm going to give Scotty Steiner the television title en route to Greed, and I'm going to give Rick Steiner the hardcore title en route to Greed. That way, every man holds two titles in at the pay-per-view of Greed, which means
that's greedy.
Yeah, it is greedy here. You are correct. But here's the other thing: the best first generation aren't just greedy; they're that damn good that they're going to defend all their titles on this show.
Okay.
So, in the opening match of Greed, Booker T defends the United States Championship against the natural Dustin Rhodes with the American Dream in his corner. Booker cheats.
What? No.
So, not only does he cheat, but he kicks Dustin in the corner, mind you, doing the gold dust gimmick. So, he puts him up there.
He hits him with a Shattered Dreams.
Shattered Dreams on purpose to get the DQ. So the match goes maybe let's say just under just over 6 minutes. So there's enough time to where that Dustin gets tired enough to get put into the position, and Booker's not so tired that he can't go in the main, which is the important part of this storyline.
Gotcha.
So Steiners they defend the tag straps first against some version of the Natural Born Thrills. Let's hypothetically say Palumbo and I prefer Palumbo and O'Hare over Palumbo and Stasiak, just because I think O'Hare's the better of the two. So, but the Steiners will retain.
Right, and so it doesn't really matter.
Which Natural Born Thrillers are losing is less important because
honestly, I just put Stasiak in since there's jobbing anyway.
Oh, that's a good call. I like that. Let's do Palumbo and Stasiak so Stasiak can take the fall.
There you go.
No, take it back. It's gonna be Stasiak and Jindrak losing in the tag match. Because what I'm gonna do is
that's right. Because you like Palumbo.
I do. I think Palumbo is money. He's a big guy. He's got a great look. He's talented, and especially when you do the motorcycle gimmick, I think that it's good stuff. So what I'm gonna do is the first man to lose a title on the show Greed in the Best First Generation is Scotty Steiner drops the television title to Chuck Palumbo, and it makes sense, right? So Chuck is fresh, Scott's tired. He had a tag match with his brother, and so to me it makes good common sense.
Gotcha.
So the show goes on, and we get away from the BFG storyline. We crown the first tag champions. Look at that! It's Rey Mysterio and Billy Kidman. It's the team that makes good sense.
I can't believe
they had a tag team name. They didn't have to just introduce a guy out of nowhere named Kid Romeo to put with Team Canada, who's not Canadian at all. He's clearly Latino in some sense.
Yep.
I mean, or some Latin descent. Anyway, back to the point. So we put it on the team that makes sense. Look at that! How crazy is that?
Love to see it.
So here's the other big thing that we do is. So on the real show, Sugar Shane and Chavo wrestled each other, right?
Correct.
But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it Sugar Shane, Chavo Guerrero, because Chavo's champion going in the show, right?
Correct.
And Shannon Moore. So it's going to look like it's...
Three count versus everybody.
It's 3 count versus Chavo for the title. But I'm going to pull a swerve, bro, and put the title on Shannon Moore. That way, because I already, spoiler alert, told everybody I was going to put the tag straps on Chavo and Sugar in like a week and a day.
Yeah.
So now back to the storyline we were running with. Now we got the tag storyline out. Let's go back to the storyline with the BFG. We got Ricky Steiner defending the hardcore title against who was in the real match. Oh, there wasn't one because Ming already took off its strap. So it's literally whoever I want.
Gone forever. So who's your favorite person?
I have Bam Bam be the guy who's booked to win the belt.
Cool. Where's the man?
I was just trying to remember who I want. If I want to put other people in it, let's just do Bam Bam versus Ricky Steiner because
straight up singles.
Yes, that's fine. And they're gonna go all over the place. Bam Bam. He can get assistance from Chris Kanyon. Kanyon can run in and stop Scotty. Because Scott's tired of me.
Classic callback to try it.
Exactly. So and we get to the main event. Double J Jeff Jarrett. He's taking on
Annie Grady.
Yeah, exactly. Annie Grady. He's taking on Booker T in the main event for the World Heavyweight title, and Booker T retains the championship in Greed, remaining greedy. So him and the Steiners
staying greedy.
Exactly. So Booker maintains both the U.S. and the World Heavyweight, and the Steiners maintain the tag, but both drop their secondary singles.
Where's me?
Yeah, so Greed, again, has a purpose in name. Because right now, originally, the purpose in name was, but now the person...
Greed name, sounds like a cool baby.
I guess, but yeah.
Okay.
So now the purpose is the illustration of the ability of the best first generation.
Good stuff.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So... now that we are done with the first, last, only Greed, and is also the final WCW pay-per-view, we're going to finish out WCW with Nitro on 3/19 of 2001, not 21. We'll do the Final Thunder on 3/22 of 2001, and then the absolute last Monday Nitro on 3/26 of 2001. We begin, as I said, on 3/19, the night after Greed. What went down, my man?
Alrighty. Well, you can tell it's a Nitro match because Disco's on the card.
Is he back to being spelled traditional?
Nope, he's still Disco.
Yeah. Yeah, like Cisco.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody thought that was a good idea.
The thong song.
Let's see. Mike Sanders came out with him. He lost to Jason Jett. So, good stuff. Let's see. Actually had a Cruiserweight title match on this one. Classic pay-per-view style.
Yes.
I mean, it only went 3 minutes, and it was Shane Helms and Kidman, but...
Well, Shane Helms and Kidman good, but 3 minutes.
3 minutes. I was about to say 3 minutes. What can they do in 3 minutes?
I was gonna say you need to give me like
another
12.
At least another 10 minutes at minimum.
Well, I wanted 12 total, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you gotta let them get the entrances though.
Sure.
Yeah. Get that.
Well, I was just saying, give me a 12-minute match. I'm happy.
Absolutely. Let's see. Next up, Bigelow and Stasiak. Bigelow wins.
Okay. At least the right guy goes over.
Yep, in 1 minute. So nice and quick. Next up, you had Canyon versus Am-I Smooth? Don't recall him. But Canyon wins.
Good.
Let's see. Conan versus Rick Steiner. Rick Steiner wins via DQ. So, okay. WCW's got WCW. And then to close the show out, big main event, Chuck Palumbo and Sean O'Hare versus Lance Storm and Mike Awesome. Lance Storm and Mike Awesome win.
Okay.
Not really too much happened on this show.
I know.
Kind of a shock.
I'll be honest, I didn't rebook it. I didn't care enough to.
Yeah.
Just so much sadness, so much blah. Like, 3-minute match here, 1 minute match there, nothing match here. Oh my goodness, nothing matters.
Now, I'm sure the segments were insane on this show, but as far as the matches go.
So here's my thing, like, I'm going to use that second to last Nitro to fully emphasize what the final Nitro will be. And do you remember what the final Nitro's theme was?
No.
It was Night of Champions.
Oh.
And so I'm going to use this Nitro on 319 to illustrate to the fans, which I guarantee the reason they didn't on this night illustrate anything is because they still didn't know jack nothing about anything. But what I'm going to do, because I can see the future...
they're dying for a reason.
Exactly. But I'm going to emphasize what is going on next Monday night, which is that we are going to have the United States Champion...
Sucker.
Sucker, I like that. Well, so Booker says, I've still got 2 straps. I'm gonna close out this company with both titles. But he gets interrupted with the 4 Horsemen. Jeff Jarrett challenges him for this Thursday on Thunder. Wait, I think by this point it was Wednesday because they were scared to challenge SmackDown.
You were correct. Yes.
But regardless, yeah. So the point is, Jarrett challenges him for the title on Thunder. Which Jarrett wins the United States title on Thunder to make sure that Booker doesn't walk into the final Nitro with 2 straps.
Gotcha.
So that's the big stuff that I do on this Nitro is set up for Thunder and Nitro, the following Nitro. So what happened on that final Thunder, my man?
On the final Thunder, in reality...
Is AJ Styles on that show?
Yes, he is.
Oh,
Actually, I was about to say his name.
I thought so.
Yep, Air Raid, which is AJ Styles. Yes, that's right. AJ Styles is that old. He was in the last Thunder with his tag team partner, who I completely forgot
Air
about.
Paris, yeah.
Air Paris. I actually remember him being good.
Do you know what it makes me think of?
Who?
James Ellsworth. And what I mean by that is...
No, you look like Ellsworth.
So they were both very, very thin. Ellsworth and Paris.
Yeah, they were...
Which is amazing, because it's not like AJ was freaking humongous, but like Paris made AJ look like he had it going on. Like, he was like you're a gym rat, ain't you, AJ?
AJ, man, look at you hitting the weights, man. Hitting the protein.
Exactly.
Well, they lost to the Young Dragons, so I mean, clearly they weren't hitting enough weights.
But in defense of the loss, the Young Dragons were the more established team.
Fair.
It took AJ and Air Paris a while to even figure out that they were something other than just AJ Styles and Air Paris. When they became Air Raid, which unfortunately was
a little too late.
A little too late, but it was an interesting idea. It was very Top Gun, and they're both are great flyers, so like it made good sense.
So they're top flight.
Yeah. They're pre-top flight. Top flight.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh, and not brothers.
Oh yeah. That small detail.
Yeah.
But also, Top Flight and AR Fox. For people who don't know, the match hasn't happened yet. But like, I'm actually very excited to see that team because I'm a huge AR Fox fan.
I am unhappy with this
Because
I want Top Flight to be a tag team and not a trio.
I feel like it's just a one night only.
That's fine.
I take your point.
If that is the case, I'm not mad about it. But like,
also, is this Darius's first match?
It
in the
is.
Industry? Okay.
It's his first
Injury,
time.
I mean.
Yeah, since the prior return.
Yeah. I feel so bad.
I know. I feel bad for the guy, but like, the reason I bring this up is because upon that prior return in that casino battle royale, tag team battle royale.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You had an idea?
Oh no, I remember a thing we already talked about off topic.
Okay.
But anyway, it just hit me. I was like, oh, that thing I pitched for you for January.
Oh,
I was like, they already did it in AEW, and it just hit me. Anyway, back to the point. What was I gonna say? Crap. Oh yeah, when they came into that casino battle royale, I was like, I want these guys to win.
Yeah.
I
want them to be tag champions.
Top.
Honestly, if Darius could stay not injured, I feel like they would have been tag champions.
I think so too. I think that and
or at least feuding with the Bucks or something.
Well, big. Yeah. Well, here's my thing. So there was one day I just spent the whole day just splitting up the AEW roster. Ring of Honor, not Ring of Honor, right?
Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm like, if you put Top Flight in Ring of Honor, strap them up almost immediately.
Immediately. Yeah.
Like the
first show, like officially.
Of course, the only thing that would stop me from doing it is what are we doing with FTR? But outside of that,
honestly, I'm not gonna lie. FTR have 50 titles to defend. Let's give them some time to do that.
I ain't mad at it.
Go to AAA, go to Japan, and then when they come back, they can just beat whoever's tag champions.
Yeah.
Because I love the Acclaim, but I can't in good conscience say they should beat FTR.
It just depends on the crowd to me.
Yeah.
Depends on the crowd. But anyway.
I mean, the Acclaim are going to be over for a while.
I love good tag team wrestling.
Yeah.
I love good tag team wrestling.
That's one of my main reasons why I'm a big AEW fan.
For sure.
Oh my God, tag team wrestling matters here.
Yes. Well, in defense of Paul, Papa H loves him some tag team wrestling.
He does.
Like,
I will give him the props.
He loves. So I had this idea, and I think you asked the same question, but Ahmed was the first guy to ask me, are there even 10 tag teams to do this match with? I was like, I don't know, let's find out. And so not only were there 10 tag teams, but there were 10 named tag teams, which is amazing for WWE.
It is shocking, yeah.
Anyway, back to
Thunder. I do remember that. All right, Thunder. What did I just finish talking?
We were talking about Air Raid.
Air Raid, okay, yes. So they lost to the Young Dragons.
Yes.
Then you had Jason Jett defeating Cash.
Yep.
Next you had a tag match. So you had the Cat with M.I. Smooth, with Miss Jones defeating Canyon and Road Warrior Animal. Right.
That is a weird team.
Yeah, that's really strange.
It's a weird team.
Was this when Hawk was having his issues? And
one of the times, yes.
Yeah,
one of the times.
Unfortunately, yeah, one of the times. Got it. Then Hugh Morris defeated Rick Steiner. Then you had a big trios match. Shane Helms, Rey Mysterio Jr., Billy Kidman, lots of fun, defeating Chavo Guerrero Jr., Kid Romeo, Elix Skipper, 6-man tag match.
That's a lot of good talent, right?
Yeah, I was about to say. I didn't say bad name in there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Then Chuck Palumbo defeated Mike Awesome, 10 minutes flat. Seems like a fun little match. Big powerhouse hoss fight type situation.
I thought you said Powerhouse Hobbs.
Honestly, he was on the brain for just a split second. I actually had to switch it.
It's all good. Yeah, he's a great guy. I love that guy.
Only dude that can win a match with a spine buster in professional wrestling.
I can remember I did a review on the channel for Halloween Havoc 1991.
Mm-hmm.
2 matches, back-to-back, into a spine buster. Arn Anderson hit a spine buster, 1, 2, 3. I was like, yeah, that's what's up.
Yep, that makes sense.
And then the immediately following, it was a 2 out of 3 falls match. So it didn't end
the match.
It didn't end the match, but it got a fall. Yeah, exactly. And I was just like, man, you don't see that these days. Yeah. That was the whole point. I was like,
who hit the spine buster?
So it was Ron Simmons to Lex Luger.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. I'm like, I feel like to win a match with a spine buster convincingly, you got to be like
Ron
powerhouse.
Simmons.
Yeah. So
Powerhouse
as soon as you said
Ron Simmons.
so as soon as you said Ron Simmons, I'm like, yeah, he could end a match with a spine buster.
And in defense of Arn Anderson, he hit the spine buster on this guy who was called Firebreaker Chip, who was like,
what a name.
Yeah, he was. I swear he was a male stripper. Him and his partner both.
That's great.
I don't know for a fact, but I think him and his partner Todd Champion were both just male strippers. So one dressed up in fireman gear, Firebreaker Chip, and then he took it off to wear gear to wrestle. And the other one, he wore a Desert Storm gear and then took it off to wrestle. I'm like, are you sure you guys aren't just strippers?
Because the way you took those clothes off, you did it a little too
smooth.
Thank you, smooth. A little smooth.
But yeah, it just felt like, I'm not sure what I'm watching here.
Porn.
I hope not. My goodness.
Gotcha.
Are we done with the Final Thunder?
One more match.
Okay.
You got Scott Steiner and Jeff Jarrett winning a 2-on-1 handicap match against Dustin in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
That is how you end Thunder.
Oh, wait. Well, that's sad. That's not how I ended Thunder. I ended Thunder by having the babyface Jeff Jarrett win the United States title off that dastardly heel, Booker T. This will be the return of Ric Flair and Dusty after DFG take them out to keep away the Steiners along with Dustin and David to help Jeff celebrate to close out the show to make things nice and happy. Nice. We'll go ahead and keep that opening tag in the opening cruiserweight because that's good stuff.
I was about to say, yeah, good matches all around.
Yeah. And so it's time to get to the Night of Champions. As I wrote here, what a great concept. And so I'm sticking with it.
I'm with it.
So, in my opinion, have you gone back and watched this?
Yeah.
So the real life Final Nitro had just way too much Vince McMahon for my liking. I get that he was working heel, and I get that he was trying to get heat, but my good God Almighty, there was just too much.
Honestly, I don't even think that's what it was. I think he was just gloating.
Well, sure. Like I'm totally with the opening segment. I'm totally with the opening segment where he says, "I hold my competition in my hands," and I'm totally for the closing segment, but I don't want all the office pop-ins with Trish and William Regal and every one of the office pop-ins. Just open with Vince, close with Vince, wrestling in between. Please and thank you.
Yay, wrestling.
So I book a lot more wrestling on my show. How many matches you got?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Never mind. I booked the exact same amount of wrestling, but mine's longer and has less interruptions by Vince.
And I also think there's longer times because I don't think any of these matches. Yep, none of these matches went 10 minutes.
Yeah. So, like I said, I booked the same number of matches, but we have less talking segments, thus giving more time to wrestling.
Great. Because I'm going to read these times along with these matches, and I just want you to all be disappointed.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that because I felt it.
Yep. So let's see. Singles match for the WCW World and United States Championships. Booker T, who is the U.S. champion coming into this match, defeats Scott Steiner, who is the world champion coming into this match in 5 minutes and 8 seconds. And that is how Booker was crowned. Was this his fourth?
It's his fourth reign, yes.
Fourth reign as world champion. And that is how you crown your last U.S. and world champion with a 5-minute match.
Well, it's the last on WCW, but do you know how they crown the next United States champion?
Yeah.
He hands it to Kangan.
Yeah, he hands it to Kangan.
So it doesn't get better, unfortunately. Yeah. It does not get better.
Okay, let me rephrase myself. This is the last one on WCW television.
Correct.
Which is still bad. Still pathetic. So, in a nutshell, WCW.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tag team triple threat match to determine the number one contenders for the WCW Cruiserweight Tag Team Championships. The Filthy Animals, who in this iteration is Ray and Kidman, as you know, defeat 3 Count, which is Evan Courageous and Shannon Moore, and the Young Dragons, you know, Kaz Hayashi and Yun Yang. Too many Y's.
Yes.
This match went 3 minutes and 37 seconds.
What'd you say?
3 minutes, 37 seconds.
That's bull.
Yeah. There was literally a minute per team in this match.
That's bull.
Which doesn't make sense. And then the 37 seconds was probably the entrances.
Stupidity.
So, very disappointing. Next match, a singles match. Singles match for the Cruiserweight Championship. I apologize. Shane Helms defeats Chavo Guerrero Jr.
Do you remember what Shane Helms' lady dancers were called?
No.
They were called the Sugar Babies.
Of course they are.
Yeah. It's like DDP and his Diamond Dolls.
Diamond Dolls. To be fair, Diamond Dolls is a cool name.
Oh, yeah.
If I were a woman, I wouldn't be called a Diamond
Yeah.
Doll. Like, that just sounds classy.
Yeah, there were some upsides to WCW, and I think Sugar Shane Helms was one of them.
For sure.
I'm sad that Vince said, "There's only one Shane, pal."
There's only one Shane, and you ain't it. So hurricane it up. To be fair, great run as a Hurricane.
Well, he didn't start as the Hurricane, though. He started as Gregory Helms.
Oh, that's right.
And he was just
Gregory.
generic, boring, no dancing, no sugar babies.
No.
Well, I mean, he had talent. He could wrestle, but what I'm
not in Vince's world.
but what I mean is, like, he was just bland nothing.
Yeah, like there's nothing to make him stand out.
It literally took Vince saying, "What's that?" on his arm, and he's like, "The Green Lantern? What's Green Lantern?"
What is that?
He was like,
The worst part is I totally believe Vince doesn't know what superheroes are, which is sad. A little sad. To be fair, I don't think Vince had a happy childhood either, so
That's true.
it would make sense. It doesn't make it less sad, though.
Yeah.
That Chavo Shane Helms match is the second longest match on the show so far. 4 minutes, 38 seconds.
Ridiculous.
Tag team match for the World Tag Team Championships. The Natural Born Thrillers, which is O'Hare and Palumbo, defeat Team Canada, which in this iteration is Awesome and Storm. 3 minutes, 20 seconds.
Bull crap.
Singles match. If Stasiak had lost, he would have to get a tattoo. As Oz alluded to before, he did not lose, therefore no tattoo. This match went 1 minute and 24 seconds. So
mercifully, it's over. That's what I have to say about that.
Essentially, Sean Stasiak squashed Bam Bam Bigelow. Why?
Stupidity. It's all stupidity. It was a bad storyline all around.
I hate all of this.
Yes.
I hate all of it.
I have good news. I don't book that.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. Honestly, if they had a match and Bigelow killed him, I wouldn't even been mad at it. If it was just the other way around and Bigelow just squashed him, no problems. I wouldn't have said anything.
Yeah.
Even if it was a long match and like, again, I've never seen a state of that match. I don't know if he's good, bad. You said he's like average, so I'm like, okay. Average guys can have a decent 5-minute match.
So he's, like I said, he's fine. He's most. Oh, you know what I think of when I think of Sean Stasiak?
What?
What you think of Lex Luger?
Okay, yeah, he could have a decent 5-minute match. No problems. Boy. But yeah, listen, and you know I don't like Luger. You know I don't like Hogan. But nobody deserves to go out there in 1 minute and do nothing. Like
it's Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yeah, especially like it took longer for them to walk to the ring than it did for them to have that match.
They had to have teleported. They just like poof, you're there.
You're there. All right, get it done.
Get it done.
My God. Filthy Animals. Cruiserweight tag title match. In case you didn't put it together, Filthy Animals defeated Elix Skipper and Kid Romero in 4 minutes and 43 seconds.
Like I said, Filthy Animals should have won to begin with.
Yeah, it would have saved time.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of time. And then the final match of WCW Nitro, last match of WCW, technically.
Mm-hmm. No, totally. Yep.
Sting defeats Ric Flair via submission, 7 minutes.
I don't know when
seconds.
I'll ever get a chance to say this again. So before I book my final Nitro, I had a dream once. Not a literal dream, but
Dusty dream. Got it.
So I had this vision of what I thought would have been amazing. This is pre-AEW, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
This is before AEW existed. It was what I thought could have been, I think I called it WCW Rebirth. But it was a revival show. It would happen on Saturday night, and it would happen at Full Sail University. So the main event was going to be Rey Mysterio versus AJ Styles, because they were guys who were under contract.
Yep.
And they were guys that can deliver.
Have they ever had a match?
They had to have. They had to have.
But my much that cage match.
It's fine. But what I'm saying is, like, so I had this whole card built out. I had ideas for the revival, not FTR, but the revival to come out and say we're everything that was good about World Championship Wrestling, and we're better than World Championship Wrestling. And so then they would take out some nostalgia, let's say Rock and Roll Express, right?
Yes, the Eddie US title match.
I figured they would have had to have. That felt right.
Yeah.
But here's the big thing that I booked on the show. So obviously Ray and AJ was the best wrestling match, but the big thing that I booked was the Icon Sting versus the Phenom The Undertaker.
Ooh.
In a smoke and mirrors match. Not what I mean by that is it's not called smoke and mirrors.
Legendary smoke and mirrors match.
But like a match that would be able to accentuate the positives and hide the negatives.
Paul Heyman rule.
Good so we would have the emergence of Bray Wyatt within the match.
Ooh.
Because he plays into the spooky. We can do the hocus pocus, and then also
this is Cult Leader Bray, right?
Yeah. It's pre-fiend. It's pre-fiend Bray.
Got it. I'm just trying to place which of the seven gimmicks he had.
Absolutely. So, like I said, in this, it would then lead to Sting and Taker teaming up to take out this menace. And it's a no finish match, but still, it's just for that fun pop.
Sure. To be fair, I think people just wanted to see those two stand next to each other. So, and I get it.
Yeah,
I really do.
Yeah, it was fun. I had this whole thing booked out. I forget exactly what the conclusion was, but I do know for 100% fact I wanted it to become a full-fledged brand. Yeah. And with it, I wanted to have
a truly forbidden door moment.
Well, not just that, but I wanted WCW to be gifted Full Sail University, and I wanted NXT to go on tour, because this was back when NXT was loaded down with guys,
literally the entire indie scene.
Yeah, and so I was just, when I had that vision, I was anyway back to what we're here for.
Yeah, back to pseudo reality.
Yeah, my reality. This is my conclusion to World Championship Wrestling. Mind you, this episode is called With McMahon in Mind, and so
sending the kids home happy.
So what I'm doing is I'm cleaning up World Championship Wrestling, making things. I'm strapping up guys that Vince picks up, and more importantly than that, I'm also setting up the groundwork for what is to come in the future.
There you go.
So we open with the newly crowned United States Champion, Double J Jeff Jarrett, defending his United States Championship against Sean O'Haire. Oh, I forgot to tell you.
Yes.
Tonight, I am merging the secondary titles together.
So the TVN US?
Oh, and the hardcore as well.
Got it.
So, what we're doing is Sean O'Haire defeats Double J in the opening match because Jeff Jarrett doesn't go to Vince. Right. Sean O'Haire does. Correct. In the second match, we have Sugar Shane Helms and Chavo Guerrero Jr. defeating Rey Mysterio and Billy Kidman because Rey Mysterio doesn't sign with Vince.
Yet.
Well, yeah. What I mean is early on he doesn't.
Yeah,
so, in the third match, we have Chuck Palumbo defeating Bam Bam Bigelow for the hardcore title. We have TV champion Chuck Palumbo defeating hardcore champion Bam Bam Bigelow to retire the hardcore title, is what I meant to say.
Emergency titles, unified.
Yep, unified. So the hardcore title gets retired here. It's not forgotten about when Ming becomes Haku back in January.
There you go. So still gone, but at least it had a better send-off.
Not just that, but we got to put it into a big storyline where Greed made sense. Yep. Exactly, where it mattered. So now in the next match, we have the tag team titles on the line where the Steiner brothers defend against Mike Awesome and Lance Storm. You know who wins?
Is his name.
Awesome wins because Lance Storm and Mike Awesome go to Vince and the Steiners do not. It's a pattern emerging here. Yeah. But the upside is people viewing won't know what the pattern is because you don't know who signs with Vince and who doesn't until later.
I'm about to say, and then once you do, it's like, what a great storytelling device. Makes a lot of sense. Exactly. It makes looking back on it make
absolutely
beautiful. What's
so
next?
We have a cruiserweight. You could call it a scramble, we call it a battle royal, call it a gauntlet, whatever.
A bunch of cruiserweights in the match.
Bunch of cruiserweights. Yes. So we have Shannon Moore, who recently had that surprise victory for the cruiserweight title, defending against Kaz Hayashi, Evan Courageous, Kid Romeo, Elix Skipper, Young Yang. And then the surprise out of nowhere entrant of Billy Kidman as the final gauntlet entrant wins the title. because Billy Kidman sides with Vince McMahon.
Actually, did any of those other guys?
Ray later, but never, not immediately. Oh, well, I didn't even put Ray here. No, Skipper doesn't. Kid Romeo doesn't. Shannon Moore does. He does sign. So I could have kept him strapped up if I chose to, but I don't.
Yeah.
Kazuhashi doesn't. Evan Courageous doesn't. And Yang signs, but is stuck down in developmental. So
Got it.
Could have been Moore or Yang, but no. I put on Kidman because it made sense.
Yeah, I was about to say it works.
Now we are third from the top. We've got United States champion Sean O'Hare defending his title against television champion Chuck Palumbo defending his title in a winner-takes-all, you decide which title lives and which title dies match. So if Sean O'Hare defeats Chuck Palumbo, he can decide which title he wants to carry, vice versa. Chuck Palumbo pins Sean O'Hare. They shake hands. They raise each other's arms.
Chuck, it's that natural born connection.
Exactly. I love that. Natural born connection. I like that. So Palumbo chooses to maintain Sean O'Hare's United States title. That way, on the night, he will have held the hardcore title, the TV title, and the United States title all in one night. But he retires the hardcore and the TV because, in reality, Vince retired them anyway.
Yep.
And this way, we have a guy that I believe could have been a top guy.
Looking like a top guy.
Well, looking like a top guy and walking in with a secondary title. So, in the last ever heavyweight championship match in World Championship Wrestling history, we have the champion Booker T defending against the Nightmare, the Natural, Dustin Rhodes.
Love it.
Because Dusty is in Dustin's corner. Because Dustin is a former world champion in this world, and, let's be honest, he has ties that send him back to Mr. McMahon himself. It is believable to think that Dustin Rhodes could walk away with the title, but he doesn't. Booker T retains his title because Booker T is on that long streak. He won this title back in, I think, February? No,
yeah.
January, February?
January.
It was January, yeah. He won it in January, and he will not lose this until August, something like that. I forget.
We'll find out when we get there.
Exactly. We'll find out when we get there. But the main event remains Sting versus Ric Flair. Honestly, it will be the shortest match of the night because Rick hasn't been wrestling. He's been primarily managing, or if he has been wrestling, he's been wrestling with his son and not really been like.
He hasn't had to carry a singles match.
And he's not got that confidence. That's the big problem.
Yeah.
So the main event is the shortest match.
Smile.
Well, he lost his woo.
Yeah.
But like I said, it does remain in the main event because it feels right to begin Nitro with Flair and Sting, and in Nitro with Flair and Sting. But
it's poetic.
But because the episode is called with McMahon in mind, and because we know that Vince buys the company, we actually end on Vince McMahon coming out on his own show, but broadcasting on our show on WCW.
You're still doing the duel.
Exactly. So we end with Vince saying, the name on the he says all of the details are there. He's like, but I won't sign the contract until Ted Turner comes out at WrestleMania and signs it himself and says that I beat him in the wrestling war. That's when we hear, not Here Comes the Money, but man, I wish he had it back then. We hear Shane O'Mac come out to No Chance in Hell on Nitro and do the exact same thing that we did. Shane says the name on the contract does read McMahon, but it reads Shane McMahon. And this Sunday at WrestleMania, Dad, I'm going to show you how your ego got in the way, blah, blah, whatever he said. I forget the exact verbiage, but we go to WrestleMania, and just like in real life, Shane McMahon defeats his father at WrestleMania, and
that was the match with Linda kicked.
Yes,
Okay,
you're correct.
It was the most popular getting out of a chair moment in wrestling.
It was such a pop. Because we're not gonna rebook WrestleMania next week, I'm gonna tell everybody the big ending.
Big E's in this show?
The big ending of WrestleMania.
Cool.
So, I'm sure you remember.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure anybody watching and listening and even thinking about it remembers what happened in real life because it was a travesty. It was BS. It was something that made no sense. In reality, you just tell them, Josiah, because you're the reality man. I'm the fantasy man. You tell them what happened in real life at WrestleMania.
The Attitude Era died, basically. Stone Cold, Steve Austin versus The Rock, which was a great match. Phenomenal.
But
Great
how did
stuff.
it die?
But it died because the one thing that should never have happened. Stone Cold Steve Austin wins the WWF
Yep.
World Championship, and then at the end of the match,
But how did he win it?
I'm getting to it.
Okay.
End of the match, he thanks his good buddy Vincent Kennedy McMahon with a smile and a handshake as Vince seals the deal. What was the call JR gave? He made a deal with the devil.
The devil himself.
The
Yep.
devil himself.
I think that's what Moxley was talking about when he said that he looked the devil in his eyes. I think he was talking about Vince.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Because
I thought he
JR
was talking about his.
Yeah. That's possible too. Anything's possible. It's Mox. So
Yeah, it's Mox. I'm about to say he probably meant 6 things in that one promo.
But
yeah,
I'm gonna end this video with McMahon in mind, but it's not the McMahon you think. So the video's called With McMahon in Mind, but the fact is it's not Vince McMahon, it's Shane McMahon. So Steve Austin, even though I think it was a terrible idea, really wanted to turn heel.
For some reason.
Well, the reason was he didn't have the confidence in himself. He said this on his own. He said that injury really took his confidence away. He was like, "Am I as loved as The Rock? Do people love me as much as McFoley? People relate to McFoley." He's like, "I need to be a bad guy." He's like, "If I can't be the top good guy, I need to be the top bad guy."
To be fair to Austin, I mean, leading up to it, he did a good job planting all the seeds because I look back at the build, I'm like, God damn, he was planning this for months.
Well, and he said, "I'll do whatever it takes."
I'll do whatever it takes.
So what I'm going to do is have Shane McMahon
come
down to the ring, slide Steve Austin in the chair, have Steve Austin, and the fans are going to go crazy. They love him. It's Texas. Texas loves the rattlesnake. They're still going to cheer it.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Shane McMahon help Steve Austin defeat The Rock, not Vince McMahon. That way, there's a good, logical thing that makes sense, because what was the big disconnect is, why would Vince help Steve when they have been feuding? But why would Shane help Steve? Well, it's easy, because if there's one person that hates Vince McMahon as much as Steve Austin, it's Shane McMahon. And if there's one person that hates Vince McMahon as much as Steve Austin, it's Shane McMahon. So that's...
enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Absolutely.
That actually makes sense.
And more importantly than that, I'm just going to jump ahead. I'm just going to tease this. I'm going to tease it because next week, we're going to tell you the truth. We're going to tell you the reality. We're going to tell you how and why Steve Austin is with Shane McMahon. The how and the why. So this isn't a prediction. It's a spoiler. The how and the why Steve Austin is with Shane McMahon is because of a very, very dangerous man, Paul Heyman. Come back next time when I lay out the story. But while we're talking about stories, pick yourself up a copy of my story, Everlasting Survivors, All Day Long, Volume 1, at Etsy.com. There are limited first printings of the Jeff Hicks cover and the Nick Crook cover. Yeah, it's, like I said, it's quality, it's good, I love it. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Next week, we are at the end of WCW, but we are at the beginning of the invasion.